Let's get some more analysis now from Mark Kimmitt. He's a former U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Political Military Affairs, and he joins me now live from Washington. General Kimmitt, always good to have you on the show. I want to start off with the situation in Mariupol with you. According to estimates, there are, I believe, a few thousand fighters that are holding on at this steelworks factory. The Ukrainian foreign minister said that the chances in terms of sending in a military rescue were slim to none. They've also not accepted an ultimatum for a total surrender by the Russians. How long do you think they can hold on?
Well, I think that's anybody's guess. Most people a week ago would have said that Mariupol would have fallen in a day or so, but they have held out far longer than anybody would expect. It may be that they believe they will be shot by the Russians if they're taken prisoner. It may be that they're trying to protect the people inside, the civilians that they have within them, or simply that they are extraordinary patriots of Ukraine. In any case, I would say that I would give them no more than 48 hours, but I'm prepared to be wrong.
U.S. and NATO officials do have concerns that Ukraine's military would need sort of, quote, significant training before receiving more advanced Western weapons. Do you think this will determine what type of weapons and military hardware is shipped over there?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. They have already announced they're bringing troops out for the purposes of training them on U.S. howitzers. The key platforms, of course, that the Ukrainians are looking for are aircraft and Patriot missiles. So well may be that they will bring troops out to do that kind of training as well. However, that will take much longer than the training on a howitzer. So if, in fact, there's a belief that this is going to be a longer war, I would expect to see many, many more troops coming out of Ukraine, getting trained on Western and Soviet equipment, and be prepared to go back in with that equipment if NATO makes a political decision to supply that equipment.
Okay. The fight for Donbass seems like is what's going to determine the fate on both sides. In your expert opinion, what do you think is likely to happen?
Well, first of all, I think the fight for Donbass is not the fight for Ukraine as a whole. It's just for that particular region. It may well be that Putin has aspirations well beyond that, but I'd say for the next few weeks, if not months, the fight will be concentrated in the Donbass. How it's going to be fought is a bit of a mystery. They brought in a new general, Dvornikov, who's well known for his tactical acumen and his brutality. They have seen that going up against the Ukrainians head-to-head usually costs them more than they're willing to pay. So I would expect the Russians to use their old envelopment tactics. We're starting to see them build up forces around the town of Izium. And if they attack from Izium to the south, that means what they're trying to do is surround the Ukrainian forces in the northeast portion of the Donbass. And if that happens, that would be a significant loss to the Ukrainians. They would probably have a significant number surrender inside that pocket that the Russians would form.
General Kimmitt, you say that the fight for Donbass is not the fight for Ukraine. However, I would like to sort of put this out there that, I mean, President Putin could very well come out after he making significant gains in that region, and as well as maybe taking control of Mariupol, this creating this land bridge between the annexed peninsula of Crimea and the Donbass. And you say, look, I've gotten what I've wanted. Now it's time to sit down for peace.
Well, you're absolutely right. That's the old declare victory and go home strategy. Unfortunately, I don't think the Ukrainians feel that way right now. Particularly President Zelensky, has said he's going to make no territorial concessions. And not simply the Donbass we need to be looking at, but the port of Odessa as well. That fight going on in the south needs to be watched because if, in fact, the Russians can take Odessa, you've effectively made the Ukraine a landlocked country, and that's something that the Ukrainians can't abide by for many, many reasons. So even if Putin does take the Donbass, declare victory, and say, let's sit down for peace talks, at this point, I don't think the Ukrainians are willing to sit down and have peace talks on those terms.
And if they're able to gain control of Donbass, that would have effectively tripled their coastline on the Black Sea in terms of the Russians. All right, General Kimmitt, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.